Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Fan Experience. We are on episode 10. Thank you for coming back for those of you that are returning listeners and viewers, and thank you for joining us for the first time for you newbies. For the new listeners, the Fan Experience is a podcast for sports fans to come on and share their stories and their fan experiences. Also, vent about their favorite teams, or to celebrate how well they're doing. We give you a platform to just talk about sports. You talk about it with your friends, with your family. Come on here, share your story. What's that iconic moment that you sat there and viewed at the ballpark, or outside at a bar, or watching with friends or loved ones? Everyone's got a story, so let's hear you tell it. As always, the producers of this podcast is Playing the Field. Playing the Field is a social network exclusively for sports fans. You're looking for somebody to go to games with? You're looking for somebody to play basketball with, or join a softball team? Or maybe it's to find your MVP, your most valuable partner. Go on there. We have tons of reasons you can get on there. You can go on there for platonic or romantic reasons. Go out there, find your most valuable partner, most valuable purpose, whatever it is that you're looking for. You can sign up now at playthefielddating.com. Use promo code FANEXPERIENCE. I'm your host, Mike Kados. Alongside me, my co-host, Rick Molina. How you doing?
Mike, how you doing tonight? Doing pretty good, man. A lot going on tonight.
Doing good. So tonight you learned how to to not talk through the opening bell. But somebody last night didn't realize that they were on the air, and said Tom Brenneman of the Reds, in the middle of a doubleheader at the pregame show of the second game, he said a homophobic slur, and social media ran rampant, and shared it everywhere. And in about the fourth inning, they ended up pulling him from the broadcast as he was trying to apologize. Rick, what do you think?
I mean, you can't. I mean, that's just embarrassing, man. You cannot do that on a live broadcast. With 33 years of experience, or 30 something years of experience, you can't just blurt something out like that. It was horrific. It was just terrible, man. You just can't say that. And the people that he offended, and pretty much in one sentence, the guy just ended his career.
Live or not? I mean,
yeah, exactly. Live or not, you don't
like. It's really not called for in anything. Even behind closed doors. I mean, right. The way of thinking, it's just that's just like we were talking on Tuesday. Like, people thought differently, 30, 40, 50 years ago, and, now we're,
it's a new world.
It's a new world. And, it's just, that's just how it is. And you gotta be especially, sensitive to, all walks of life.
100%. And the thing is, I don't think he was thinking. Like, he wasn't thinking on this. He whatever he was thinking about, who knows what was going through his mind when he was saying it. Like, something must have bothered him. Something must have triggered it for him to say that thing. Yeah. And it was just awful, man. I mean, think about it. And you're a professional sports broadcaster. I mean, you should be aware of your surroundings, and you should know that, and you shouldn't be able to say that. I mean, this is a guy who's come across people from all walks of life, all races, all creeds, all colors, all everything. And for him to just blurt that out like that is just, it's sort of incomprehensible, man. Like, I can't wrap my head around it. Like, how do you just say that? Like, how do you say that just on a live telecast baseball game? You just blurt that out. Like, look, the guy got suspended. It was the right thing to do. They pulled him off the broadcast. It was the right thing to do. I don't care how. And his apology was because somebody hurt him and he got caught. That was his apology was. And that's pretty much what happened. And I don't know that he's going to broadcast another game. I mean, to be honest, if I'm him, Fox Sports and the Cincinnati Reds put out some statements, apologizing for the slur. But I don't know how they can possibly bring this guy back. I don't think he can. I think he ended his career right there. That's what he did. He buried himself in that moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And even through his apology, he was, I saw his apology on Twitter, and he was saying, he's a man of faith, and throughout in the middle of his apology, a Red player hit a home run. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah,
it was Castellanos.
Yeah,
but and then he goes, God obviously must agree with me because he had that home run happen right.
I mean, what is he talking
right
about?
During my apology,
guy,
you're not really, you're not making this better right now.
No.
But regardless, the Reds did the right thing. Fox,
100%.
They pulled him from NFL Fox broadcast as well, so he will not be calling NFL games. It's just uncalled for. And yeah, as far as like the context, I saw the one clip. I felt like there was like 3 seconds of silence, and then that came out of nowhere. There was like no context to but you know what? Whatever context it is,
it was wrong.
It was wrong. There is no
context for it.
There is no out of context. Like though, the words were specific. Obviously, we're not going to say it on the show.
No, we're not going
to. It was not, something that should be repeated ever. They just did the right thing. But let's move on to another baseball team. So the New York Mets.
Your beloved Mets.
Beloved New York.
Your beloved New York Mets. Yeah.
They will not lose a game today.
No.
Because they canceled the Mets game because a Mets staffer and a Mets player tested positive for COVID. They're postponing the finale between them and the Marlins, and they're postponing the beginning of the Subway Series between the Mets and the Yankees tomorrow night. And let's it's going to happen with every team. So, that's not much of a issue. I mean, obviously we don't want any teams to have it, but we know it is inevitable. And it just so happens that it comes with the Marlins in town. And I felt like that was going to happen. It was going to be the Marlins that ended up bringing down the hatchet and then trying to messing up everyone indirectly. But, they're from Florida. I mean,
right.
Inevitable. But yeah, I mean, speaking of Mets and Yankees, they were supposed to get started with the Subway Series.
Yeah.
But so there is news. Obviously, we've been talking about it, about the bidding on the Mets ownership. It's not going to be official. The final bids aren't due until August 31st. But there is conflicting reports, on who's in the driver's seat right now. A lot of people, there's people that say A-Rod. There's also people that say, that's like the best bet. If the Mets have to push to get A-Rod to be the winner to this, this bidding war. And there's a lot of people that are saying that Steve Cohen is in the lead there. And, we all know A-Rod's has, a lot of people backing him, but Steve Cohen's got all the money in his pocket, ready to go. He doesn't have to talk to anybody. So, Rick, you take over here.
Well, you just said it, man. Steve Cohen has all the chips. He has the winning hand pretty much. And here's the thing. I think what this is they're just trying to up the bid. Because I don't know that the A-Rod and J-Lo, as much as people say they have the money and they have all the resources and all the financing behind them, I don't know that they have that, especially with the debt that team has. I think this is Cohen's bid to win. I think it's his team to own. The question is, and I was reading today that 3 of the owners were saying that they're not going to vote for him due to his past discretions with the SEC. He paid a $1.8 billion fine for some insider trading or whatever it was. And so, owners are concerned about having a guy like that in the ownership. But at the end of the day, he's the one with the deep pockets. He's the one with the money. He can come in, clean up that debt, and really pursue players. Because with the A-Rod bid, as I was reading also today, like they might have to slash salaries. It might be another Marlins issue again. And does Bob Manfred want a New York team pretty much fielding AAA guys playing in that market? I don't think so. As much as maybe Jeff Wilpon wants to sell him the team, I think some owners, and obviously the Reverend Al Sharpton came out in the Daily News and said they should sell him the team because of a minority owning the team, which I think is great. But at the end of the day, money talks, and I don't know that they have the money to sort of pull this thing off.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I think it's going August 31st. Cohen's going to put his bid. I think they're just trying to get him to up the ante a little bit, but he's probably going to stay to between 2 and maybe 2.3. Who knows? But it's his bid to lose. And I think at the end of the day, he's going to own the team, and it's the right thing for the Mets. It'll make them contenders right away. They'll start spending some money. They'll be active in free agency. You can't go wrong with that.
I could see it going higher than 2.3.
Really?
Yeah.
You think he's going to bid again for 2.6 billion after he got turned down the last time?
Because remember, I think A-Rod was about at 2. And they added on a couple. They got to added on a couple more people. So I think they can make 2.3 themselves. So I think they can go higher than 2.3, but we will see. We got a couple more weeks, but let's not keep our guest waiting too long. Now joining us on the show is Koen Riehl, and he's a semi-pro soccer player and coach for the Palm Beach Strikers, and also the founder of Riehl Training.
Koen, how you doing, man?
Doing good, you?
Doing well. Thanks for coming on, man.
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. So you play soccer. So, let's dive deep into the beginning there. When did you first pick up the game of soccer?
Oh man, probably when I was about, I'd say 4 or 5 years old. Picked up a soccer ball and just kind of started playing from there, and it's just got me to the point where I'm at now. But
awesome.
Yep.
And so you have you been in Florida your whole life there?
No, so I actually moved down from Ohio to Florida about 2-3 months ago. Just moved down with literally knew nobody down here. Just got down here and started playing basically.
Now, Now, Koen, you now what position do you play? You currently play while as a soccer player. Like, are you a forward? Are you a defenseman? Are you a goalie?
So believe it or not, I'm a center back. I'm about 5'8", 5'9".
Okay.
So pretty small for a center back position, but I also play outside back as well.
All right, and you play for a pretty popular team down there. Tell us about the team you play for. The forget the name slips my mind, but tell us about the team that you play for.
Palm Beach Strikers.
Palm Beach Strikers.
Yeah. So I play for the Palm Beach Breakers. Actually, the Palm Beach Strikers who I'm coaching for, but the Palm Beach Breakers, we're based out of West Palm. We're kind of like a new club. We started UPSL, I believe, last season. I don't know a whole bunch about it just because I got down here about 2-3 months ago. But from what I know, they're trying to really, I guess, branch out. They're trying to get into, I guess, professional leagues like NISA, USL League One, USL Championship, things along those lines. So they're looking for the investors and all that fun stuff. But they're trying to build a team right now, trying to bring in a good amount of guys and, I guess, win the league right now. That's kind of our main focus.
Nice. And you're a player coach for the team as well?
So I'm actually just a player. It's a fan owner type of club. So anybody can kind of have ownership into the club if they wanted to.
So. Oh, that's cool. So I actually have a friend that lives down there in Florida, and he's like, he recognized the team name when I told him you were coming on. He's like, oh yeah, they're really big down here. Like these semi-pro teams are huge down here.
Huge.
So as far as soccer, we call it football everywhere else, but how about football? You're a big Dolphin fan, right?
So I would say I'm kind of a big Dolphins fan. I don't keep up with them as much as I should, just because the fun amount of seasons that they've had. But other than that, I kind of keep track with them.
So you grew up in Ohio, but you became a Dolphin fan. How'd that come about?
I blame my grandpa and my dad. They were Dolphins fans to start out with, and they just kind of gave it upon myself, and it hasn't been fun to watch, but it kind of is what it is, I guess.
I guess it beats rooting for the Browns and the Bengals.
And the Jets.
I mean, that is fair.
In Ohio.
That is 100% fair.
Yeah. So Koen, you played in England. Tell us a little bit about that. How did you play in England? How did you fare out there?
So it's kind of a long story. Basically, I went out to New York to play for a college out there, Division II. I wasn't a fan of the school. Went back to Ohio. Spent about a year trying to more or less train myself. And I was actually with a recruiting agency from high school, and they reached out to me through there. And basically 3-4 months later, got on a plane, went over to England again, knew nobody at all. got to my place, my flat, and just kind of started training. We trained about 3 to 4 hours a day, weightlifting, all the fun stuff. I mean, it fared well out there. I mean, soccer out there is a whole different sport from what it is in America. It's very physical, high pace, different style of play. It took some adjustments to get used to. But basically, I started all 30 plus games that we had over there. High competition, really hard, but really enjoyed it. I mean, if I could go back 100% to England, I'd be on a plane right now, to be honest with you.
And you mentioned that the game is different over there. The game obviously is getting more and more popular in the United States. But tell us a little bit about those differences. The game in Europe obviously is high paced. They push the ball. Whereas in the U.S., is it more touch? I mean, tell us a little bit about those differences.
So, I mean, you play soccer in America, you watch soccer in America. There's a lot of long balls run onto it. Guys are more athletic in a sense rather than technical and tactical as well. Getting over there, we had to take 1-2 touch soccer constantly. If you didn't do so, you were doing some type of consequence, whether it was push-ups, sit-ups, going on a run, whatever it was. But we probably touched the ball 30-ish times in the back behind the half-field line before we even got it to go up. So just the technical and tactical aspect of the game is just completely different. You learn so much over there. I mean, I probably learned more over there than I have my 18 plus years of playing in America. It's quality over there. I love it.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And you said, after COVID, you're gonna make it a point to try and get back over there. So when did you play there when you were, still living out in Ohio, and then you got the opportunity to go play over there? Did you play for any teams out in Ohio?
Yeah, so basically once I got back from New York, I just kind of spent a year to train myself. And then at the age of 19, that's when I just booked a flight over there, stayed over there, and turned 20 when I got over there. So it's kind of touch and go. It was fun. I mean, but playing in Ohio, there's not a lot of teams. I think the closest one to me is about 3 hours. I'm from a small town of Zanesville, Ohio. So not a whole bunch around me. So I'd had to travel a lot. But my main goal is to get out of America. Not a big fan of the soccer system here.
I'm wearing my USA jersey.
That's what I like to see.
I hear you. So I was reading about your superstition. You say you got a lot of different superstitions. Talk to us about that.
So back in high school, I always had to have Subway before I went to games. Like I had to make it mandatory 12-inch foot-long sub constantly. A lot of guys don't like eating before they play, but I have to have food in my stomach. So that's one huge thing. But a big superstition now is just taking a shower every single time before a game, making sure I have food in the system. And I used to never wash my game socks. But luckily, I've gotten away from that where now I'm washing them because the guys just couldn't take the stench. But those are just kind of the little ones. I just have kind of minor tweak ones of like having to listen to a certain song before a game and so forth and so on.
And Koen, you mentioned that sports fan lifestyle, it's changed your life in a way. Talk a little bit about that. So let's talk about how sports, especially soccer, has changed your life in many ways. As you've been playing more.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like a stress reliever. Some people have their stress relievers of just watching a movie, sitting down, relaxing. Mine's just getting a ball in my foot, kind of escaping what's around me, reality, I guess you could say. So whenever I could just get out there and just play is when, my whole mind can just relax. I want to say I have ADHD, but my mind's going from like left, right, up, down constantly. Once I'm out on the pitch, it's just like, all right, I'm good to go at that point. But I mean, just falling in love with the game it's something that I think every sports fan out there knows. It's just like once you're watching the game you love, it's just like it's my time. Either I'm yelling at the TV or I'm staying relaxed. It just kind of depends on one or the other.
Right. And you talk about your favorite teams. So your two favorite teams are Manchester City because of Carlos Tevez, and then Barcelona, obviously because of Messi. But if you had to choose, because on this show it's either one or the other, it can't be both. So it's either Manchester City or Barcelona. Which one and which, because of which player and why?
I would probably say Manchester City. I think the biggest reason why is because I got to witness a game live in person there. It's just a whole different atmosphere. I mean, you're over there sitting in the stands. It's packed. There's just no shutting up. I mean, you go to a baseball game. I mean, you got the chitter chatter. You go to like a basketball game again. just a chitter chatter, but it's constant chants. It's constant people just throwing banter, yelling as much as they can, curse words. Even though the people on the ground can't hear them, they're still going at it. So, I mean, just being in that atmosphere made me really fall in love with both more of the game, but also just Manchester City in a sense. I love Kevin De Bruyne. Also, he's like by far my favorite player right now. However, I'm a big fan of Messi, so it's really a hard to toss and turn, but I'd probably go with Manchester City.
I definitely have to put that on my bucket list to go to a soccer game.
Yeah,
in Europe, absolutely.
Not America, yeah, 100% Europe, anywhere you can.
Yeah, without a doubt, that's definitely on my bucket list. So let's talk a little bit about Riehl Training.
Yeah,
well, awesome name. I mean, it just works out.
Right.
So yeah, talk to us a little bit about it.
So basically, I started Riehl Training because I noticed a lack of skill level in my small town of Ohio, and I also noticed, competing against, I guess, bigger inner city clubs like Columbus, Cleveland, Akron, so forth and so on. My small town was just very, I guess you can say, way behind. So I wanted to give kind of the kids the opportunity to train the way I was when I was growing up by my trainer who played professional soccer, and just really give them what team training couldn't, because I don't know if you guys have ever been around it, but one-on-one training, small group training is completely different than team training. Like, you're getting that attention to detail, focusing on what a player necessarily needs, what they need to improve on, and really just honing down on the skill level. So I came back from New York, started that up. It was kind of touch and go with where I was playing, if I could do trainings. But, after going to England as well, playing there, coming back, I mean, just the progression of the kids that I saw from when I left to when I got back and started training them for a couple of years, was just like completely different. So Riehl Training just basically focuses on their basic skill needs, what they need: passing, trapping, dribbling, anything along those lines. I like helping kids. I like seeing them progress, and I want to give them every gateway that they can to really chase their dream, kind of like I'm chasing my dream.
Yeah, well, kudos to you, because I can't do the soccer thing. Too much running, man. Like,
right.
I don't have the stamina for it. You really got to do that from a young age, or else it's like, you're pretty much well on that one. So you mentioned kids, but do you do adults too?
Yeah, so the oldest kid I had was about 21. She actually plays for an NAIA school up in Ohio. Trying to get her to play semi-professional. She's definitely good enough. But, I mean, yeah, I train ages all the way from like 4 all the way up to professionals if they need it.
That's incredible to be involved in. Let me ask you now, how big is your training? I mean, do you have a lot of clients or parents or people constantly reaching out to you? Because the game is growing so much in the States.
Right.
I mean, are you getting that kind of volume as far as like training requests?
So it's a love-hate relationship. I could definitely talk for this on hours, but when I first started out, I only had 4 trainees. I still trusted the dream of trying to build a training program. And then once I got back from England, I saw just an influx of players and parents coming to me. I mean, I was working 40, 45 hours a week for about 2 to 3 months straight. The only issue then becomes, once the parents slowly see their kid becoming better and one of the better players on the team, that's when they kind of just cut it off. So they think at that point, like, okay, my kid's the best on the team, we're good to go, they're set. And then they slowly start to lose their skill levels because they're not practicing, they're not training with them, and then they go play like a Columbus team or an Akron team or an out-of-state team. It's like, okay, maybe my kid's not good enough. So then they try to come back, and it's just like a teeter-totter of basically, you're here, now you're down to here, so we got to bring you up. And it's a constant love-hate relationship. I wish I could say, I was getting the clientele I wanted to down in Florida. The only issue is, for some reason, parents think a coaching license, for some reasons, like the tip of the iceberg of saying, like, yes, I need him, instead of the players that have the experience of playing abroad, playing for all these semi-professional teams, having pro trials. They choose the coaching rather than the playing for whatever reason. I have no idea. Still trying to figure that out as we speak. But I mean, I'm slowly getting there, definitely. But up in Ohio is like crazy.
And so when we compare Europe and how they train over there to here in the States, would you say that's the biggest difference, that from when they're coming out of the crib, they are constantly training, they're constantly working, their parents never stop them training, whereas here, once a parent sees a kid who's like, hey, he's pretty decent, he's the start of the team, enough is enough. Would you say that's the difference?
So, you look over at England, and again, they have a ball in their foot starting at basically when they are in a crib, when they're a baby. But, I think the biggest thing for America is we try to focus on way too many sports at once. Parents want their kids to be good at sport A, B, C, and D, when, in reality, when they hit middle school, they should know kind of what pathway they want to take. But again, over there, it's just they're constantly training, because they have such a broad range of people in either their area, like London or Manchester or Newcastle. And there's always somebody they have to beat. There's always somebody they got to push, to get off the team or get into an academy. And again, it's just over here, once they get to that level, it's kind of just, I'm done. Unless it's those parents that, okay, I want my kid to keep going, whether that's baseball, football, any sport in general. If they want them to go to that next level, they'll keep them in. But again, I think the biggest issue is A, B, C, and D sports. Too many parents try to focus on.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely hear you on that one. I'm one of those parents. I mean, well, my daughter has plays basketball and basketball and softball, and she played soccer back when she was a little younger. But that one wasn't for her. So it says here that you bet on sports a little bit. What's your game of choice there?
What was that? Sorry, you cut out for a second.
You like to gamble, bet on sports.
So yeah, I mean it's not like the gambling sites. I like to bet with friends for just basically giggles at that point of taking the underdog 24/7. I mean, I took the Dolphins to make, I think, either the playoffs or the second round of playoffs this year, which is never going to happen. But I mean, it's just a fun little gamble to put out there. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the only small gambling I do.
But in Europe, it's so different. At the right at the stadium, you could place bets right there. Right?
Yeah, I mean that, and then you can just walk down the city center. I was in New York, and I mean, there's just like small little gambling casinos, and people just walk in, bet on horses, bet on dogs, bet on whatever they possibly could with whatever change they had in their pocket. It's just ridiculous over there.
That's incredible. That's great. So Riehl Training, how the next, obviously you're pursuing your professional career. You're obviously playing semi-pro here, but as far as Riehl Training goes, how do you see it growing? How do you see it expanding? Are you going to have a site, maybe have your training facilities maybe in Ohio, or are you thinking of staying in Florida, or you seem like you have a love for London and England. Would you take it abroad and set it up over there?
So for Riehl Training itself, it's kind of hard to really say. I mean, I started it about like full on, got an LLC and everything about a year, 2 years ago, when I really kind of not necessarily took a step back from me playing, but was more or less of like, okay, what even are my next steps? Because soccer's so hard to get into in this world. So the original plan is I was going to have like an indoor sports facility in my location, was going to kind of build that up and then keep doing my trainings, run that out of there. For now, the future, it's more of a hobby, I guess you can say. I can pick up kids as I go, just so, if I do leave, it's not like I'm leaving 50 kids like I did back in Ohio. Future-wise, kind of wherever the wind takes me, I guess. I mean, I would like to work at a sports facility wherever it may be in the States, whether it could be in Europe, it doesn't matter to me, but wherever I kind of set myself for sports facility director, that's where I want to take my training with.
Got it. And then also as far as your pro career goes, now you're still working on that. Are there any avenues for you to get back to Europe to train with any of the teams? I mean, how are you trying to sort of accomplish that goal?
So COVID has obviously taken a hit on everything. That's the biggest part. The other hard part is, an American trying to play in Europe, especially England right now, is extremely hard because they really crave EU passports just because you can go wherever you want in the EU. Right. So Americans, it's really hard for us to break into. I would love to go to a European country. I'm hoping, the coach that I have right now can kind of gateway me into the leagues that he played into. But the only other option right now that's on the table is an agency I'm working with. We're trying to get us to go down to Australia and play. So it's a hit and miss thing. We're just waiting for travel bans to be lifted, waiting for kind of the full go of seasons to be opened back up. It's crazy.
You know what? What's your nationality?
My nationality is just straight American. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Sadly.
Try to get over to how about your parents and stuff.
Parents, yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Sadly, yep.
It's not that bad, man.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, man. It's not bad. Have you thought of playing in like maybe the Mexican League, or have you thought about playing in like maybe the South American leagues or anything like that?
I mean, I definitely have. I mean, again, the problem is with soccer is you got to know somebody to get into somewhere. I mean, you talk to any Mexican really over here, they always have somebody that they know that works for a club or knows a club that they have a contact with. It's crazy. But for us Americans, it's just like, do you know somebody? No. Yeah. Do you know somebody? Yeah, but do you have the money to get you into that system? It's really frustrating, really hard. But hopefully one day it'll change.
So no MLS soccer for you. If you got the opportunity to play for the MLS, you wouldn't take it?
Oh boy, put me on the spot on that one. I mean, if the opportunity was there, 100%, I'd take it. I'm not going to say I love the MLS system. Actually, I really hate it. But that's a pathway that could lead on for hours, man. Hours.
We'll edit that part out.
Yeah. In case somebody from the MLS is listening, we'll take that out. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you want tell our viewers, where to find you.
So you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. The main one is just Koen Riehl for Twitter, Instagram, and everything for my personal. For my training account, it's just Riehl Training for Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Used to have a website, kind of took that down once I started to pursue my career again. Just didn't want to pay for that hassle of the $150 basically a year. So I took that down. But yeah, all my socials are basically, just the same thing.
Awesome. Yeah, we have a couple of links, above our heads right here or below, depending on where you're watching. But definitely reach out to Koen, and he's gonna, he could help you get a little bit better. Now, do you just do soccer? Do you do anything else? Help people with any other sports?
I do soccer mainly, but I also do speed, agility, and quickness (SAQ) for players that are really just wanting to hone in on getting quicker, getting faster feet. Football's huge for that. Baseball's getting bigger for it as well. So, I mean, yeah, SAQ stuff I also do.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's definitely a useful skill in all sports really. So connect with Koen and he'll help you out. You have kids. You can help them out with private sessions. But Koen, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate you having me.
And good luck with everything. And we hope to see you playing in Europe one day.
Yeah, man.
Let's keep the fingers crossed.
Or the MLS if it just happens.
Whichever one works best.
Yeah, the LA Galaxy, or does Florida have an MLS team down there? Do they have a team?
Yeah, they actually have two. I think two. Yeah, so it'd be Miami FC and Orlando City.
Which one would you prefer to play for? Miami?
Yeah, Miami. They got David Beckham as their GM. So,
hey, man, there's your in.
Exactly right.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go. Well, Koen Riehl, everybody, Riehl Training. Look him up. He's a good guy, and we're hoping for the best for him. And hopefully one day we'll see him playing in Manchester City over there. Thank you, Koen.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Koen.
No problem. Thank you. Yeah, you as well.
Bye.
All right, man. Koen Riehl. Hey, listen, man. I can see that kid playing in Europe.
We're gonna have to edit that.
The MLS part.
Yeah, we don't have to ruin his chances.
No. Listen, man. The guy's he's got a goal. He's got a dream.
Skill's gonna speak for itself.
100%.
You just got to keep at it. He's a young kid, so he's got time to get over there. Like he said, COVID pretty much put a stop to everything. So and it's done that for everyone. So he'll revisit that, and I see good things.
Yeah, we'll have him back on when he's playing in Europe, and tell us about his experience over there. Maybe he might run into Christian Pulisic over there, see how he's doing out there. So you never know.
Absolutely. All right. So what do you want to do? News and notes? You want to hit the?
Let's get into the AFC North, because I've been looking at the schedule for the last afternoon, and I'm kind of want to get into it right here. So.
All right. So I mean, I guess we can just do a quick, brief breakdown of the team and any differences and changes that they've had. Mm-hmm. So Baltimore's pretty much same team as last year. Nothing too crazy. Lamar Jackson, MVP, coming back. Mark Ingram. They did draft a running back though, right?
They did, yeah. And Marquise
Marquise Brown.
Marquise Brown, he's out. He's out for the year. He's opted out.
Marquise Brown?
It was the wide receiver. What's his name? No, the guy from the Eagles. I keep mixing them up.
Oh, Marquise Goodwin. Nah,
yeah.
Eagles. Oh, I'm like, wait a second. Nah.
Yeah.
But there was news a couple of days ago that Des Bryant is going to be practicing and trying out for the Ravens.
I thought he left without a contract today. I thought I saw that.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the latest. I knew he was flying there and he was going to try out. I didn't know he did it. I didn't know he tried out today.
Yeah, he left Ravens tryout without a deal.
Okay.
So, this guy, Des Bryant, man, he's tried out for a few teams, and after tearing his Achilles, man, nobody, wants to give him a shot.
Yeah, and then there was the Antonio Brown rumblings earlier, but it looks like they're pretty much sticking with what they got for the most
part. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, man.
Exactly. Lamar Jackson, probably going to take a little bit of a hit compared to last year's numbers, but I think he's still going to finish a top 3 quarterback.
100%. He might win the MVP again.
Yeah, it's certainly a possibility. Let's go to their biggest rivals, the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll hit the schedules after. We'll just do a quick
quick run through
overview. Big Ben is back.
Yeah, here's the thing. As long as Mike Tomlin is still the coach of that team, they will always win 10 games. That guy, he had to deal with Antonio Brown for 6 years or whatever it was, Le'Veon Bell's issue, Big Ben. I mean, the cast of characters and all that must have been going on there. And that guy still wins? I never doubt that dude. They're over 10 games, easy.
He's great. He's a great coach, and he knows what he's doing for sure.
He's got to be one of the most underappreciated coaches in the National Football League. 100%. If the Jets had him, I would be running outside with a Jets jersey on and nothing else. If he was the Jet coach, that's how excited I would be for the Jets. And that's not a pretty sight, ladies and gentlemen. But what I'm saying is that's how happy I would be.
Just on your profile on.
The playing the field, my playing the field dating profile, ladies.
Yeah, let's just make sure you have pants on, please.
Yeah.
And maybe not a Jets shirt. I mean, your card's gonna show Jets. That's bad enough, man.
Yeah.
But he's a catch, ladies. All right, listen, he's still a catch. So that's pretty much. They have another running back they signed off the draft, but for the most part, status quo. Did Eric Ebron went over there though, right?
I believe he did, yeah.
Yeah, so so a little bit of a change there at tight end. But Big Ben being back is obviously the biggest news. And Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges were just not cutting it last year.
No, they were brutal. They were just terrible.
So the Steelers definitely are going to take a step up from last year for sure. You want to go with our good old. We got thanks for the mental image.
Who posted that?
One of our listeners.
One of our listeners. Thank you for the mental image. Okay. Yeah. Hey, I'll take what I can get. All right. Yeah. All right.
So let's go with the Browns. Baker Mayfield, third year. What are we thinking?
They're not winning more than 8 games. Listen, Kevin Stefanski could be the new coach. Baker Mayfield could lose 30 pounds. They're the Cleveland Browns, dude. I got to see it to believe it. I was looking at the schedule. They got a couple of gimmies with Washington. They got Cincinnati there. But the rest of the schedule, maybe the Giants, and Jacksonville. But I don't see them winning more than 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a tough one, but not as tough as the Cincinnati Bengals. They got a tough schedule. Joe Burrow
might get killed.
Yeah, he could possibly. But even if I don't see him coming out and being Patrick Mahomes.
No,
here just lighting up the league. It's not going to happen. They still need a lot of help. Yeah. With on offense, on defense, they even lost Trey Waynes for the year, or at least a good majority of the year. So that was one defensive piece they didn't have last year that they don't have again. So they're really behind the 8 ball already before kickoff even started. So let's break down some of these schedules then. We'll start with the AFC North champs. Baltimore Ravens are set up at 11.5 on the over-under.
Over. I got them at over 11.
Yeah, face value, I say over. So we got Cleveland.
That's a win.
At Houston.
I'm going to go with a win because I don't trust Bill O'Brien in a spot like that. That's a Sunday. That's the game of the week, the Sunday game of the week. I'll give him a win.
Okay, 2-0. I would have split them there, 1-1.
Yeah.
First, Kansas City. So they're winning. They're losing one of those games.
I think so.
Houston and Kansas City.
That's a home game, too.
Yeah, but I don't see them beating both of them. I can't see them starting 3-0. The best I could see is 2-1.
Kansas City might have a Super Bowl hangover.
And
I'm gonna give him 3-0. You know what? I'm gonna give him 3-0. I'm gonna give him 3-0.
Okay.
I'm gonna give him 3-0.
All right, I'll give him 2-1 because I did think they could beat Kansas City, just not Houston. Houston. At Washington, easy. 3-1 on me. You got 4-0. Versus Cincinnati, 4-1.
I got him 5-0.
At Philadelphia.
That's Carson Wentz over there.
Yeah.
That's a game I could see them losing. Only because that's one of those, letdown games.
You got them beating Houston.
Yeah.
But losing to Philadelphia. I don't know. Okay, so then we're even then because I have them winning that game.
Yeah.
So we're at 5-1, both of us. Then we got Pittsburgh in Baltimore.
That's a win.
6-1. A bye week.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're at Indianapolis against Phillip Rivers, but the Ravens are going to beat them.
That's a win, yeah.
7-1. At New England, no Brady. 8-1.
That's a win. 8-1.
Versus Tennessee.
This is the game, man. This is going to be at home. This is the playoff rematch. What do you
think?
Rematch,
yeah. But this is at home. I mean, they were at home for the playoffs, too.
Now remember, there's not going to be any fans there.
Yes, agreed.
I'll give him the win. That's just a revenge game. I give him the win.
9-1. Then at Pittsburgh, Thursday night. Looks like Thanksgiving night.
Yeah, it's a Thanksgiving game at Pittsburgh. Just coming off a tough game against Tennessee. I can see them losing that game.
Yeah, because it's only a couple days removed.
Yeah.
All right, so we got what are we? 11. So 10-1.
I got him at 2.
No, 9-2.
9-2. We got him at 9-2. Yeah.
9-2 with the Pittsburgh loss. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got versus Dallas.
It's a win.
Yeah, I see that. 10-2 at Cleveland. I see this as a letdown. Monday night at Cleveland.
Yeah, but by that time, Baker Mayfield, I don't know that he's going to be starting. I mean, this is a make or break year for the kid. And if he in Stefanski, if he's not playing well and they're having a crappy year like I think they're going to have, he might not even be playing. So I'll give that to the Browns.
You give it to the Browns or the Ravens?
I'm sorry, the Ravens.
Okay. So you're at 10-2, 11-2?
11-2, yeah.
First Jacksonville win.
Giants win.
Giants win at Cincinnati to end the season. They're probably going to be. They might even be sitting people at that point. I got
them 14-2, man.
Yeah,
you got them 13-3 still.
Yeah. Either way, they're hitting that over with room to spare.
Yeah.
Let's go. Pittsburgh. They're over under of 9. And you said before they're going to win 10 games easy.
I say they win 10 games, yeah.
All right. So at the New York Giants.
That's a win.
All right. I can agree with you there. Versus Denver.
Man, Denver's my sleeper team too, but I'll give them the W on that one.
I don't know what we picked, last week.
Yeah, I don't remember either, but I don't think we gave it to Denver.
I think we gave it.
Did we? I don't remember.
We gave it to Pittsburgh.
Okay.
We gave it to Pittsburgh. All right, so you got 2-0 there. Versus Houston in Pittsburgh. I go 2-1.
Yeah, I can see that 2-1.
2-1 at Tennessee. I see 2-2 there.
That's a tough one, man. It's a 1:00 game at Tennessee.
Yeah, but it's
yeah. The way Tennessee. Yeah,
versus Philadelphia. I could see the Steelers beating Philly.
That's a win.
So 3-2 versus Cleveland. 4-2
Mm-hmm.
versus Baltimore. We gave that to Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So 5-2 at bye week, then at Dallas.
Sunday game of the week. I'm going with the Steelers.
Okay, yeah, I could get on board there. 6-2 versus Cincinnati. 7-2.
Jacksonville 8-2.
8-2 at Baltimore. 8-3.
8-3.
Versus Washington.
9-3.
9-4. No. 9-3. Yeah.
9-3.
Yeah. At Buffalo. 9-4.
The Sunday night game. That could be a big game for Buffalo. So I'm gonna give that to Buffalo. Yeah. 9-4.
At Cincinnati.
9-4.
Yeah. 10-4. That's a Monday night game. Okay. Versus Indianapolis in Pittsburgh.
It's a win.
11-4. And then
12-4
at Cleveland. So yeah, we got them at 12-4. I think we gave them a couple extra wins there. That they're probably gonna, let down a little bit. But 10, I think the 10 is easy.
Yeah, they make the 10.
I think they get their 10. Yeah.
100%.
Because they, we got to remember their defense is stout. So
yeah,
and Big Ben coming back. Cleveland Browns. Let's see this dumpster fire here.
All right, let's set this baby off.
Their over under is 8.5.
Yeah, it's not happening.
At Baltimore, loss. Versus Cincinnati, win. 1-1.
Yeah.
Versus Washington, okay, 2-1. Wow, they go off to a bad start here. At Dallas,
2-2.
Versus Indianapolis, 2-3.
3. At Pittsburgh, 2-4.
4. At Cincinnati, 2-5.
So you giving them a loss there?
Yeah, Cincinnati's winning in Cincinnati.
Okay. Yeah.
Versus Las Vegas,
2-6.
1-6. Bye week.
Yep.
Versus
Houston,
2-7. Versus Philadelphia, 2-8.
At Jacksonville at this point.
But are they going to lose 3 home games? No, we got to give them one of those. So let's go 3-7.
You giving them the Philadelphia game?
No, it doesn't. They're going to get one of those.
All right.
They're going to get one of those.
It might be the Las Vegas game.
Houston and Philadelphia. They're not losing 3 back-to-back home games. So let's go 10 games, 3-7.
Okay.
All right. At Jacksonville, I could see them pulling that one out.
Yeah, I say 4-7 there.
4-7. At Tennessee, 4-8. Versus Baltimore, 4-9. At the Giants. Well, they got at the Giants and then at the Jets. So
they're losing one of those games. They're losing the Jet game.
Let's put that at 5-10.
Okay.
And then versus Pittsburgh
at home. I think we gave that to Pittsburgh, right?
I think we did.
5-11.
5-11. And at best case, 6-10. So yeah, they're not making that 8.5.
Yeah, no, not even close.
Now with an over under of 5.5, you would think somebody could hit the over on that, right?
Well, I wouldn't even dare touch the over on this one. But let's go through the schedule. I mean, let's see where we get if we can find 5.
Bengals are over under of 5.5, and I'm like, oh, they can hit it. And then I looked at the schedule. I'm like, okay, they can't.
And the Chargers are terrible too.
So Chargers.
That's a tough one, man, because they got Tyrod Taylor's going to start, and
I actually gave Bengals a win on that one.
Yeah, because I've been reading some reviews on Justin Herbert that does not sound good. The Hard Knocks, they're saying he's a little too timid and stuff like that. So
yeah, so I gave the Bengals the win there. So
okay, I'm with you on that one.
Hey, great! They're starting out really good. At Cleveland, at Philadelphia, both losses.
1-2.
1-2. Okay, versus Jacksonville. I'll even give them that one.
Who's quarter?
Gardner Minshew.
Gardner Minshew going to be quarterbacking?
But I'm even going to give them the benefit of the doubt and give them that one.
Yeah, I'll give it to that one. It's going to start getting cold. Yeah, I'll give it to him.
2-2. At Baltimore.
2-3.
3. At Indianapolis.
2-4.
4. Versus Cleveland and Cincy.
2-6.
I think we gave them that one in Cincy though. I did.
Oh, we did. So 3-5 then.
3-1,
3-5.
2, 3, 4. 3-4. I got.
Okay.
3-4 because we're 7 weeks in.
Yeah.
Versus Tennessee. 3-5. Bye week at Pittsburgh. 3-6. At Washington. Washington has to win some games. So 3-7.
7.
Versus the New York Giants, 3-8. At Miami, giving that to Miami, 3-9. That could be a Burrow versus Tua game.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I gave it to Cincy this
Did
morning.
You?
Yeah, this morning I think I gave it to Cincy because I think Tua is going to be starting by then, and Burrow's going to be 12 weeks into his tenure. So yeah, let's go 4-8 there.
Okay.
Then versus Dallas, loss. Then versus Pittsburgh,
loss.
At Houston,
loss.
Versus Baltimore,
loss.
So 4-12 at the best. Even with giving them a couple of up in the air ones with Jacksonville and Miami.
And the question after
the Chargers too. So so it could be 1-15 or it could be 4-12. I mean.
Listen, is Zach Taylor the coach for that team? I mean, we don't know that. So, we'll see. Is AJ Green is he going to have a good year? Is he going to remember they got Joe Mixon. They got AJ Green. They got some players there, man. The question is, do they have the coaching staff?
Yeah, they definitely have, they were a year or two away from really putting it back together to, being something. But it's just their schedule is kind of like Murderer's Row a little bit too.
Yeah.
I mean, especially that last 4: Dallas, Houston, Pittsburgh, Baltimore. Come on.
Yeah, that's just you might as well just throw the mercy rule in there, man.
Yeah,
I mean that's terrible.
I mean they do have to play Pittsburgh and Baltimore 4 times. I mean that's tough in itself, and then you throw Houston in there as well. It's tough flooding there. All right, so what do we got? News and notes here.
News and notes. We can start with. Let's see. I guess we can start with NBA playoffs here. Lakers down 1-0. Obviously, Damian Lillard is on fire. He's the best player in the bubble right now. But the Lakers are in a bit of trouble over here. And here's the other thing. The Mavericks are starting to come along. They got Boban with Luka and Porzingis, man. They're going to be a tough team to beat, man. I mean, those are, you got 2 7-footers that can shoot and pick and roll and a guard that's unstoppable. Dallas might come away with this thing. Who knows?
Yeah. And then the Lakers are starting off on the wrong foot, but they can bounce back from this. They're down 1-0. But you had them at pretty much.
Yeah, I had them win the title,
running the ship. So it was it's a little hiccup. I'm sure they'll.
Once again, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. No,
NBA draft lottery. Minnesota wins the draft lottery.
Oh, is that who ended up with 1?
Yeah. And
Knicks ended up with 8.
As usual.
Wonderful.
Could you try again?
As my Siri goes on.
Oh, wow. Hey, Siri, why are you chiming in, huh?
Yeah. This just came across the wires. Washington head coach Ron Rivera says he has cancer.
Oh, wow.
He was just diagnosed with a lymph node cancer after a self-check. But they say it's in the early stages and very treatable and very curable. So we wish him the best.
Yeah.
And hopefully he makes a speedy recovery.
Wow, that's that just came through because I don't even see it.
Yeah, it just came through on on ESPN right now. Just saw it.
Wow.
It's tough. It's tough over there in Washington right now, trying to rebuild that team and all that's going on. And now this. I mean, it's just it's a tough road right now for them.
Yeah. Speaking of Washington, well, obviously Washington got rid of their old name, their old nickname.
Yep.
The nickname to never be named again.
Yes.
But the Kansas City Chiefs have decided to ban fans from wearing headdresses, face paint, and they're looking into the chop as to whether fans should be allowed to do it or not. I mean, it's just, I guess, a way for them to just phase it out, and but they're still named the Chiefs. I mean, I granted, maybe the headdresses I get. Face paint, every team has face paint.
That's the thing.
Let's be real.
I mean, how are you going to police that too? You're going to have 80,000 people in the stands. They're going to be drunk too. Are you going to stop? If somebody does the chop, like, are you going to throw them out of the stadium? Like, how are you going to police that? Now, I get it.
Banned yet. The chop hasn't been.
Right.
Looking into it.
But if somebody look, here's the thing. In stadiums, you can sneak anything into a stadium. You put a bottle of water, it's actually liquor in it. You get it in, or whatever the case is, right? Like, if are you going to go through somebody's purse or a woman's purse or a person's bags or whatever the case is, and they have paint, you're going to take it? Like, I don't know how you're going to be able to police that. Look, I get what we're trying to get to accomplish here is move away from sort of the slurs and sort of the demeaning of Native Americans and all that, and I get it. But it's gonna be tough to police some of this stuff. I mean, let's say 20 guys just start doing the chop. Are you gonna throw them all out? Like, what are you gonna do?
But we still have the Cleveland Indians,
right?
Who their mascot for the longest time was. I mean, now they're doing the C.
Right.
Like, now they just do the C. They've
been phasing that in. If you notice,
they've scrapped that for a long time ago now.
Right.
And then you got the Braves. I mean, it's the tomahawk, and I mean, granted, that one's probably the least racially sensitive one.
Right.
But they still do the chop, for the Braves too.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I mean, yes, you want to be sensitive to everything, but don't go too far.
Right, exactly.
Too far one way where you have to like really be worried, on every single little thing. Headdresses, I completely agree with you on.
There's no need for a headdress.
No, come on, let's be real. It's not.
It's not. I mean, there's just no need for that. But I mean,
there's no excuse for it. It's like, well, I just no.
Right. But I just don't know. I mean, at what point do you say, okay, I mean, where do you draw the line? I mean, if somebody wants to paint their face, are you going to tell them not to paint their face? I mean, let's say somebody paints their face red and white. Are they not allowed to do that? If like I said, if a whole section in the stadium does a chop, and let's say the whole stadium picks it up, what are you going to do then? And then are you going to put one of these security guards in positions to tell people, hey, you can't do the chop? And next thing you know, they're surrounded by 10 or 15 people. Like, you don't want to put certain people in situations like that. So, look, I get what they're trying to do. I just think they need to let's just, think things through. But look, I applaud them for what they're doing and trying to clean that stuff up out of the game and the slurs. But, how do you police it is my question.
Yeah. And
so we'll see.
I mean, if these Kansas City Chiefs fans do get kicked out of the game and they miss ridiculous touchdowns by Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill, who got injured in practice today, by the way. I heard.
Oh,
he left practice for a little bit. I don't know what it was, but he got hurt. He got hurt a little. Tyreek. And but if they kick you out of the game, take your ticket away, just call our man Matt at Ticket Time Machine. He'll hook you up.
Yeah. And here's the other thing, man. You got people paying PSLs and all that stuff. Like, how about they sell the ticket to somebody who goes to the game, guy gets drunk or whatever, and he does that? And are you going to ban the person who sold him the ticket? Like, there's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah.
Man,
so.
Wait and see.
You froze over there. Okay.
Did I?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, it's been happening. It's been happening, especially this episode. It's been happening quite a bit. But
that was the first time you froze. I don't know.
Yeah. And how about this? Oscar De La Hoya, at 47 years old, is making a comeback to boxing. I don't know what he's thinking, to be honest with you, because the last time he was in the ring, Manny Pacquiao almost knocked him out to Mars.
Well, Mike Tyson's just opening the door for all of these. I mean, Tyson's what, 54, and he's coming back. I mean, but Tyson is a little bit of a beast, but
his exhibition. I mean, De La Hoya is talking about coming back, full time. I mean,
full force.
I guess they can't give it up, man. I think it's like a drug, especially for boxers. They just can't give it up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not too huge in boxing, but Tyson, De La Hoya, I definitely know them from back in the day, and it's just 47. That's rough, and obviously Tyson's rough too. But we have to wait, now 3 more months before we could see him in action, and curious to see how that pans out, though.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Something tells me, though, man, De La Hoya is going to just get knocked out. And he's just going to get knocked out. I mean,
I think so. Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, Tyson, though, I'm not going to count him out, though.
No, that guy, I mean, I've been watching some of his training videos on Instagram and YouTube or what have you. I mean, he still has speed, power. I mean, obviously he's not going to get into a ring with a Tyson Fury or a Deontay Wilder or somebody like that. But you put him up with some of these heavyweights today, I think he can hold his own. I think he can win a couple fights.
Yeah. I mean, couple fights, I don't know.
You don't see him winning one fight against a top heavyweight.
One fight against
a top heavyweight. I can see him. I can see him.
But then you have to sit there and you got to recover from that. At 50 years old, your recovery time might be a little slowed down.
I get it, but these guys aren't
recover a lot faster than I can.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
years younger, but he's in probably better shape than I am.
No, he's in tremendous shape. I mean, if you watch some of these videos, man, the guy's got a 6-pack and he's just ripping shots. But I can see him beating a couple of heavyweights, man. I really could. I mean, I don't know about the top guys, but I can see him going to the ring and beating a Dylan White. I really can. What's this guy's name? The Andy Ruiz, the kid who beat Anthony Joshua. I could see him beating him easily. So I hope let's see if somebody will give him a shot.
We'll see. It remains to be seen, but then he's gonna be probably creeping on to 55.
He'll be walking into the ring with a walker.
Oh man, damn. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. But people are gonna pay to see it.
100%. I am.
For sure.
Absolutely, yeah. Nostalgia always wins, man. Nostalgia always gets people to buy things, man.
Yeah, absolutely. What do we have? Any other news and notes? We've touched on the Mets and them getting COVID. We touched on the A-Rod thing.
It's funny. Finally, Cal Ripken just mentioned that he's cancer-free after surgery in March for prostate cancer.
Okay.
So, we wish him the best, and hopefully he makes a speedy recovery. I think he has, and hopefully you see him back in the stadium in Baltimore over there.
Okay, that's great news. Wolves win the lottery here. NBA players troll Knicks pick.
Man. I mean, you just can't make it up, man.
You have to go through Twitter and see what that's about. But it's the NFL is considering a bubble for the playoffs.
I read that. I think that's an interesting idea. I don't know how that's going to work, but
I mean, I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens, but I feel like if they make it through and get to January, is it really necessary anymore?
If there's a vaccine, man, I don't
like if they were able to make it through a whole season, whether the COVID's gone or it's still here,
right?
If they were able to, get through that whole season, fairly unscathed, because that's really the test. Can they get through the whole season?
Right. Which I think they will. I mean, I think they'll finish out the year. I think they'll be able to get their 16 games in. Some like MLB, there'll be some guys that get sick. They'll isolate them, but I think they'll finish out the year. I think there's optimism that they will.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, next episode we're going to cover the NFC South, who may have a few playoff teams inside that division there, with two future Hall of Famers and Drew Brees and Tom Brady playing in the same division.
That's going to be
fun.
Tuesday night. Tune in for that one.
Matt Ryan in there too, and then Teddy Bridgewater.
And with that, it's time to wrap it up. Another great show. Thank you, Koen Riehl, coming on tonight. And
good luck to you. And hopefully you can get back over to Europe. Anyone needs soccer, soccer tips, soccer practice, you're in the Ohio area, by all means, at Riehl Training on Instagram and Twitter. Definitely give him a call. Next week's going to be a good one. We're going to touch on the NFC and the AFC South. Until then, have a great week, everybody. Enjoy the NBA playoffs. Enjoy the NHL playoffs. The Islanders are up 2-0 right now. Let's see if they
Scotty Wolf, our boy Scotty Wolf, must be happy out there.
Close this one out. Yep, Scotty Wolf, we're pulling for you, man. all you other Islander fans out there, have a great weekend, everyone, and we'll see you next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, YouTube, Facebook. Thank you again for watching, and have a great night.
Night, everybody.